Recording. Do you remember the title?
Good evening. Yes, I hope so. It's 5 elements for
For
a
delicious.
living.
Yes.
And we made it to say it.
Yes, two brains together made the
Like,
title. That's amazing.
okay, that's it. Thank you for coming. Goodbye.
So, I'm Erika Mangiapane,
And I'm
Italian,
Bianca Sunoaga.
Italian, Romanian, Russian, something,
Yes, planet
and
Earthy girl.
as well, or Mars. Most
Or
of the
Mars,
time, Mars. Actually, Venus.
Venus. Well,
Yes.
whatever works. Whatever works to my advantage, it's good.
So we are here because we were like chatting one day and we were like, what can we create together? What would we like to talk about? That is something that can nurture everybody and contribute to everybody. And the 5 elements for delicious living came up and we started to create them. You see, Bianca is starting to, that's yummy, because we started to think about the graphic, and lollipops and candies and all those,
Marshmallow.
yes, marshmallows, all those sweet things, sweet like yumminess came up. And that's what actually these 5 elements can create for us, right? Like, what can we receive greater if we really started to be the 5 elements of intimacy with ourselves and for ourselves first?
Exactly. And it's really using them for yourself. And before even having to create a relationship or a creationship as it's now called. And
As it's now called, I like it.
now called, it's a new word.
No, but that's true. Can we say them? Can we tell them the 5 elements? Maybe it's nice.
I suppose so. We can do it. So you start with one, I continue with the second.
Because we are like little kids and we like to play, right? Honor,
Trust.
allowance.
Vulnerability.
Yes, you
And
said that. I'm not able to say that. And gratitude.
woohoo!
So, today it's been an interesting one for me. And a lot of awarenesses showed up. And what was there above all was really being in allowance of what I was choosing and what I was being and what I desire to create. Allowance is one of those keys that can really give you freedom and that can really give you that delicious living that we are all looking for and that we don't really know how to get to, how to create, where to start from.
Yeah, we always have the idea that there's, in order to have something or to be something, we have to search it outside of us. And it's like, oh, in order for my life to get greater, I have to look for it outside of me. Instead, it's like what these tools, because we're talking about access consciousness tools, we didn't say it.
We
It's
didn't
like
say that, but we
it's
assumed it.
implied in the like in the topic. It's really starting to use them for yourself to get access to the magic you are, to what you know has always been available, but you didn't know how to access it. It's just access it, and it's like so hilarious when like people ask questions to Gary. It's like, okay, Gary, I have this. How can I change it? Or like, just choose. So like,
Choice. Like that's the most annoying and yet the most true answer. Like just choose. Yeah.
so I'm
Go.
wondering what choice with together with questions can give us like access to these 5 elements of delicious living, which is a really 5 elements of intimacy with yourself and with relationships.
Yeah. The Have you ever heard about them like before access?
I really don't, no, like everything was seen as love. Like love was supposed to include all these things together, but somehow didn't never managed to be that ever. It's like,
That's
oh,
true. That's true. And the first time I've heard, like probably the first time I've read about this, I don't remember which book I was reading, and I was so like astonished. This was something completely new that nobody ever presented to me before. It was such a great space for creation that I was like, oh my God, finally I can have what's required. I know, now I know what's required for me to be me, for me to have me, and then I can engage and include someone else in my life.
yeah, you actually get clear of what is that that creates that nourishing, that nurturing living, that nurturing relationships, which like how can you like say that okay, love covers it all? Because we know that love actually has so many definitions and so many, everyone has a different point of view on love. And like from our side, like okay, love should include this. Of course, that the other person has the same stuff as I have about love, and you find out very soon that it's not that. That like you like, and you start like complaining about, judging, and separating from that person. Whereas like you're separating for yourself in first place. But it's like, what if we could like okay, interesting idea, love, but like behind, like under love, what's the elements of love that we're looking for? What are those? And how can I love ourselves first, actually be grateful for us, being allowance of us, trusting ourselves, honor ourselves, and be vulnerable with ourselves? Like what if these were the keys to really enjoy life and creation and ourselves and our partners?
So what if we could now destroy and create all the definitions, all the judgments, all the projections and expectations that we have bought around love, what love is, what love means, what loving ourselves means, and we could finally access the space of true nurturing and caring that the 5 elements can gift us. So everything that is, can we please destroy and uncreate it all?
Yes, please.
Right and wrong, good and bad, pod and pockle, 9 shorts, boys and beyonds. Because what we have been given by this reality is actually just a bunch of conclusions of how we are supposed to love ourselves and love others, and take care of ourselves and take care of others. So what if we just could acknowledge that that is not our reality, that that is not what we really know is possible, and we could start to explore these 5 elements for us and then with others.
Exactly.
That is such a different space, that is such a different possibility that we get to play with. And what could that create in our living? What space of creation can be in allowance for ourselves, being vulnerable with ourselves, trust what we know, honor what we be and choose, and be grateful for what we be and choose create for us? And all the lies that we are buying into that are not allowing us to be that first, and that keep us in the love reality, can we destroy and uncreate them all?
Yes.
Right and wrong, good and bad, pod and pockle, nine shorts, boys and beyonds. Wow, this was the call that I was waiting for for myself.
No, it's a mere coincidence.
Right? How the universe works. It's amazing.
Exactly. Wow. I'm really very grateful every time this magic shows up. And it's really when a call like this, when a space like this opens up, like to play together, like with so amazing people around the world, and like to get new awarenesses, to play together, and to really go beyond what each of us. Each and one of us has put in place and has fixed in their reality. It really creates something different. So the question is, are we willing to receive everything that is available, everything that it's there for us that we haven't acknowledged yet? Are we? And everything that doesn't allow us that, will we please destroy and create it all?
Yes.
Yes, right and wrong, good and bad, for the focal, nice shorts, boys and beyond. And if we wouldn't have any reference points, any objectives, any fixed points of views and fixed judgment and fixed fucking realities about what love is, about how like how would we supposed to be with our bodies, ourselves, in relationship, will we please destroy and create it all?
Yes.
Thank you. Right and wrong, good and bad, fun and vocal, nice shorts, big and beyond. And what if you could really like play with, okay, if I like, what is love for me? And really, what are the elements that could be like, what's my elements for a delicious living? It's like, start exploring them, taste them, and see how they
Exactly.
work for you. And
I like that your body said that before your words. Taste them.
and it's actually what this series is about. It's really the access of like to delicious living.
That exploration where we get to try how a different living is, how adding these elements to our daily life is, and what it can really contribute and create.
Exactly.
So we are not going to go through all of them, but if you have specific questions right now, we can answer. So, and we would love questions. Otherwise, we can keep talking and talking and talking. I know, me and Bianca.
We can do it. We can really do it. But it's like, what's the point?
It's like, what's the point of just saying what is true for us when we can receive questions, right?
Like private conversation on public view. It's like, not that. It's really a co-creation. As with in each class of Access, it's really questions create the class itself.
And you know, now that you've said the word co-creation, and I'm really grateful you used that word, because how can you create with yourself? Did you kill your knee?
Continue.
You're funny. Continue. Pretend nothing happened. So how can you create with yourself, and how can you possibly co-create with someone else if you do not have and choose and be the 5 elements of intimacy?
Spam.
Bam. So everything that is, and all the fantasies we've bought into about creating with ourselves and co-creating with someone else that are not allowing us to access the magic of 5 elements, can we destroy and create them all?
Yes, please.
Right and wrong, good and bad, pod and pockle, 9 shorts, boys and beyonds. You know, it's like talking about trust, for example. We are not trusting this reality is something else. Trust someone else means in this reality having blind faith. Mm-hmm. And that cuts off your awareness completely. When you are not in question of whatever the situation is or of whatever the person is saying, that is not trusting the other person. That is actually knowing and trusting that shit is going to happen because you're cutting off your awareness. And if you do not really have true trust, which is knowing where you function from and knowing where the other person is functioning from, then there is no co-creation possible, because you just keep pretending to create based on projections and expectations and fantasies.
Which is actually not trust.
Not at all. It's just really a bunch of, actually it's, so everything that doesn't allow us to perceive, not be, and receive, that the 5 elements of intimacy are the platform we can be and choose to create our delicious living from. Can we please destroy and uncreate it all?
Yes, please.
Right and wrong, good and bad, pot and pockle, 9 shorts, boys and beyonds.
And wherever we are looking to conclude what they are and to search for references and like, oh, trust is this, oh, vulnerability is this. Whereas what would it take for you to ask, to be in question of what they are for you and really discover what they are for you?
And just be them. You know, it's like, for me, honor, trust, allowance, gratitude, and vulnerability are like sexualness. It's something that we arrive on this planet with, and that we very early learn to cut off and cut out of our life and our being. So what energy, space, and consciousness can we and our bodies be to claim on and acknowledge the potency of the 5 elements we truly be for all eternity? And everything that doesn't allow that times a godzillion, can we destroy and uncreate it all?
Yes, please.
Right and wrong, good and bad, pot and pockle, 9 shorts, boys and beyonds. And let's just get to that space, that place, and that moment where we chose that being vulnerable, trust ourselves, being an allowance, honor, and be grateful we're not valuable and that we're too intense for us. And let's just ask for that to be our space and our reality. Let's just ask to be willing to have that intensity that comes with the 5 elements of intimacy. And all the lies that we bought that is too intense for us, and we cannot absolutely include and be these elements, can we please revoke, recant, rescind, reclaim, renounce, denounce, destroy, and uncreate it all?
Yes, please.
Right and wrong, good and bad, pot and pockle, 9 shorts, boys and beyonds.
It's interesting how we learn to function with in this world. Like, we know something is possible and something else is possible, something different is possible, but we've learned to look around ourselves and to see how other functions in their reality, in their world, and we have learned that since the very beginning. And somehow whatever we know that doesn't fit the other people's reality, we cut it because we think it's not valuable. And it's something that you said, because whatever other people don't use and don't cherish and don't acknowledge, we say that's not valuable, even if we know that something there. Yeah. It's calling us and it's like, hey, I'm here. Oh, but you're not valuable. Like, no, because nobody else is using them. Yeah. So what if you could be the inspiration for others to choose more and to trust that something else is different and to choose it?
And what if you could just be that inspiration for yourself? Because, and you said it, it's like looking outside of you all the time. And I'm a master for that. Like,
Just you.
let me see if I am good enough with that, and good enough with that other thing, and if everybody is like seeing that I'm good enough, and maybe even more than that, if I'm great with it. So in the minute we are looking for approval, for acknowledgement outside of us, we are not being the 5 elements of intimacy with ourselves. And we are actually giving up the potency and the power that we can have if we choose to be that for ourselves, which does not exclude other people. Like, being and having the 5 elements for yourself does not mean that you're gonna be alone, that you're not gonna enjoy having people around you. It just means that you are not relying on other people's judgments and points of views and acknowledgement to create your life and your living.
It's interesting how I said, like, it's not that you'll be alone. And I was about to ask the girls, to really ask themselves, if they were alone on the planet, would they still choose to have these elements for themselves? If there weren't any purpose, or like, okay, I will choose it because my relationship with others would be greater, my job will be greater, my da-da-da will be greater. If I was alone, would I still choose to make my life greater? Will I choose to live every second of my life in gratitude, trusting, honoring myself, being vulnerable with whatever, and honest with whatever I feel, perceive? No. Like, would you still choose it for yourselves? Because normally we tend to want changes and to change just because we then have an idea what will happen after in all those areas of our life. Like, I use this tool enough times to because I know that it will open up a door in that area with that person, and that's that way.
I think it's called objective or something like that.
Maybe, just maybe.
Just maybe. Wow. So everywhere we are just choosing enough, and we are changing enough so that we can meet our objectives. Can we please destroy and create it all?
Yay.
Right and wrong, good and bad, God and POC, all night, shorts, boys and beyonds. I need wine.
I need wine.
I need wine. That's the 6th element. Honor, trust, allowance, gratitude, vulnerability, and wine, Italian if possible. But I'm trying not to do separation here. So if you want also other countries, I can live with that.
We should talk to Gary and say, like, Gary, you forgot a very important element.
Yes.
The wine.
The wine.
What I have found out about alcohol, and I'm not promoting alcohol, just to the thing is that in like very nice dosage, not very much, but not like enough.
Not too little, like not too much, but not too little.
Yeah, when it's a good, like, your barriers fucking go down, and your chatter doesn't exist. Whatever, like, thoughts, judgments, fucking shit happens in your mind doesn't exist anymore, and you're present. And you're like in the whole perception of yourself, whatever you're perceiving, and it's like you're with yourself in that very moment, and it's there that your being starts to play. However, you don't need alcohol to have that.
Thank you for the disclaimer.
By using the tools and being more present and in the question all the time, you will have that space without the fucking alcohol. How does it get any better?
You're funny, but that's true. Like, that's the truth. And I experienced that as well, of course. But that is really the space of our being. Yeah. And how fun is that? How fun is that when we are not having barriers up, when we are completely and totally present with ourselves and our choices. And we are not looking outside of us for anything and anyone to approve what we be, what we do, what we choose.
Yeah.
So everything that doesn't allow us, all the judgments, projections, separation, and expectations that we are choosing, so we don't have to be ourselves, and we can keep looking outside of us to know who we be and what we need to choose and why we need to choose that. Can we please destroy and uncreate it all?
Yes, please.
Right and wrong, good and bad, pot and pock, all nine shorts, boys and beyonds. I would really like to invite you all to start playing with these 5 elements for yourself. I don't care if you are in a relationship, if you are not in a relationship, if you want a relationship, if you don't want to see a relationship for 700,000 years, just do it for you. Just ask, what is honoring me for me? What is trusting me for me? How does that look like? What would I have to be, do, and choose? What would I have to do different and be different to have and be the 5 elements for me? And see what is starting to change. If anything is starting to change. I bet yes, but that might be my conclusion. No conclusions here.
No conclusions, just awarenesses. And
exactly.
Yours was an awareness. Come on.
It was an awareness, I know. But really, like, give yourself some time and space to play with it. And with any objective, with any reference point, just because it can be fun to explore a new reality for yourself. Yeah. And then, what can that create with others? But please, 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 just do it for you. Just for you.
Just for fun.
Never tell
anyone.
Right? So, like, wow. Do you have anything else to say, Bianca?
It's like I would really let the girls talk. I don't know how many minutes are left. We would really talk for more than hours about it, because it's a topic that really has something to give, like to gift us. It's like, even if we know these elements since a long time,
yeah,
like it's still an exploration and it never ends. Look at that. It's not about the objective or like the goal of getting it right.
Yeah, no.
It's just having fun with discovering what's that for you. And wherever you have eliminated the joy from your life and living, and assume that life is serious and a conclusion and sufferance and gory, will you please destroy and uncreate it all?
Yes.
Thank you. Right and wrong, good and bad, for focal, nice shorts, boys and beyonds. So what if this series could be an invitation for you to have the space of joy with exploring what is nurturing for you, for your body, and for your living?
And what is delicious? Like get the energy of what is delicious for you and for your body. Just for you and your body, not from anybody else's reality. Because you and your body are unique, are 2 unique beings that came together on this planet to create their delicious living, which is different from anybody else.
Yes.
So this is our invitation to you all.
Yes.
This is what we are going to explore starting on the 4th.
Third. Well, anyhow, 3rd or 4th will be announced. It will be said.
Yes. We will let you know. I think it's the 4th.
March
3rd.
20.
March,
20.
definitely. I'm checking in the meanwhile. You can keep talking. I'm looking for dates.
So still March, still 2019.
The 3rd.
The 3rd. Oh.
3rd of March, 15th of March, and 20th of March.
Oh, look at that. The whole month of deliciousness.
Exactly.
No, it's too much. I'm sorry.
We cannot even try to get close to having that. Not even for a month.
Don't even try it, kids at home. No.
Beware, it's too dangerous. So yeah, this is our invitation to you all. It's going to be translated in Italian and Russian.
For now.
And what else is possible?
And yeah, if there are like requests for any other languages, let us know and we'll get organized for it.
And if you have any questions, you know where to find us. We live on Facebook.
We live on Facebook.
And in Facebook. So,
like, what's your address? Facebook.
What's your address? Facebook. What do you mean? I live in Facebook. Where? In a Facebook Live usually. So you know where to find us. And thank you so much for being with us tonight and for looking for something different.
Oh yes, girls. Wow. And boys and guys and
thank you, Bianca, for being so present with your life, living, and creation that you are facilitating at your 11:30 Moscow time after translating Dane alone for 2.5 days now.
Yeah, and Simone tonight. It was
and Simone as well. Woohoo.
Well, what can I say is that we really have more potency and more talents than we ever thought possible.
Yeah, definitely.
So, yeah.
And you know what? That is really a part of trusting you.
Yeah.
The more you trust yourself, the more your capacities will grow, expand, and explode. And everything that doesn't allow that, can we please destroy and uncreate it all?
Yes, please.
Right and wrong, good and bad, pot and pock, all nine shorts, boys and beyonds.
And also, the more you acknowledge them, the more they can grow.
Yeah.
Grant says, that's why you have a Russian accent tonight. Do I?
Amor, you have Russian accent.
Oh my gosh, I don't even know how Russian accent sounds like. Well,
in English.
In English, yeah. Anyhow.
Thank you, everybody.
Thank you. And see you very soon.
Super soon. On the 3rd, apparently, not the 4th.
Yes. With champagne and delicious things to play with.
Absolutely. But just on the 3rd, not before. No, do not prepare yourself from now to the 3rd of March with deliciousness in your life.
Not allowed.
Thank you.
Good job, girls. And how does it get any better?
Bye, everybody.
Bye.
Bye. Thank you very much. Thank you.